I first met Dr. Banerjee 1 year ago today at the 2019 Net Cancer Day Symposium at City of Hope, where she led a caregiver breakout during lunchtime. I found in Dr. Banerjee an ally with a shared passion for caregiver support. That day, a seed was planted and watered for launching a virtual NET caregiver support group as a place to address the unique needs of NET caregivers. 6 months ago, with Dr. Banerjee's guidance and leadership, LACNETS officially launched the support group for NET caregivers, and it's been amazing. We're now going to hear from NET caregiver Jack, who shares his experience of being a NET spouse. We're grateful to have Dr. Banerjee return to give the final presentation for today on caregiving. Let's welcome Jack and Dr. Banerjee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jack DeBlaise, husband of NET patient Beth DeBlaise, who was diagnosed with stage 4 GI NET with the primary in the ileum in March of 2016. This initial diagnosis came as a result of another painful family situation. Beth's older sister had been diagnosed and was succumbing to another rare immune system cancer that would ultimately take her life. This family history prompted Beth's primary physician to investigate, and subsequently he discovered tumors in her liver. He then referred her to the City of Hope for a biopsy. A positive NET biopsy, along with a diagnosis from a local non-specialist oncologist that was pretty grim, left me in shock, which was followed by denial. Thus begun Beth's journey against cancer. Several visits to City of Hope specialists, extensive surgery, somatostatin analog hormone therapy, affiniter-targeted therapy, as well as several imaging tests, including gallium scans. I was physically present for this part of the journey, work permitting. So here we have Beth's journey, and I'm pretty much along for the ride. Trust in modern medicine, stay the course, complete the checklist. I was just completely in denial that this type of cancer couldn't be cured. And I had this rule that I was the oldest, that I go first, no questions asked. So obviously denial had left me at that point incapable of moving forward as a caregiver. Unfortunately, after a few years, Beth confided in me that she felt like she was alone in her journey against cancer. And, I was a provider of resources, things like insurance, but I wasn't emotionally and mentally prepared to be a caregiver. And this was just unacceptable, and I needed help. Beth, as you all know, is immersed in LACNETS, so I thought, well, I should too be immersed in LACNETS. After all, there's education webinars, there's conventions, there's retreats, and more specifically to me, there's LACNETS NET caregiver support groups, and there's also LACNETS-sponsored health coaching. So, in synopsis, I was in a phase of denial and was inadequate as a caregiver, and I went to LACNETS for guidance, and with their support, I am better equipped to fight this battle against cancer with my wife, Beth. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chandana Banerjee, physician in the Supportive Care Medicine Department at City of Hope. Today, we're going to be talking about caregiving. It's really important for us to understand what a caregiver is. If you look at Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition is A caregiver is a person who provides direct care, as for children, for elderly people, or the chronically ill. I'm sure we've all been in this position or in the role of a caregiver at some point in our lives. If we haven't already, we will be someday. So what does caregiving really mean? It means different things to different people. Does it mean caring for your parents? Does it mean caring for your community? What does it mean to you? I think it's really important if you are in a caregiving position or in this role that you identify what the meaning of caregiving is personally to you. Cancer and caregiving can be very tricky. Caregivers managing cancer need different sets of skills. Many caregivers feel that they know what to expect when it comes to providing care and support for a loved one with cancer, but they may not actually know that. They may discover the journey along the way, and they may find that the expectations or the understanding of what it was to be a caregiver has changed over time. Learning to manage the needs of the patient while also attending to the caregiver's own evolving psychological and emotional needs can add strain, stress, and anxiety to a caregiver's life. So guess what? Sometimes the journey can be long and it can be difficult, not only for the patient, but also for the caregiver. Burnout is a huge issue in caregiving. It can affect caregivers too. We're all human. We all have our own capacities for compassion and care, particularly when helping family members who may seem to walk this journey alone. Even the best caregivers can burn out and no longer offer the best care for both themselves and their patients. So what exactly is self-care? Deliberate activity in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health is what self-care is. It leads to improved moods. It reduces anxiety. It can lead to good relationships with yourself and with others. And it's something that refuels us and in our relationships allows us to be better caregivers. What it is not is something that we force ourselves to do, something that we don't enjoy doing, or something that adds stress to our day-to-day. Self-care is not selfish. Many caregivers feel that focusing on themselves and not their loved ones is a selfish act. It is important to know what we need to do in order to take care of ourselves, and it is important to know that so that we can allow ourselves to take care of others. Taking care of ourselves allows us to be in better positions to care for others. If you do not tend to yourself, you will get burnt out. If you get burnt out, you will not be in a position to care for your loved ones. So COVID-19 has impacted caregiving and your loved ones. And here are some things that we often discuss in our clinical practice. One thing I encourage is to write down 3 negative impacts of COVID-19 on you and your responsibility as a caregiver. Think of how you can remedy these 3 impacts. Think of how you can prevent these negative influences in your life. On the other side, write down 3 positive impacts that COVID-19 has had on you and your responsibility as a caregiver. Think of how you can enhance these further. Think of how you can seek similar aspects in your life. There is not one real answer or one right answer for these questions. Caregiving is a personal responsibility. As we've said before, it can mean different things to different people. So here are some ideas for self-care. Identify things that make you stressed or anxious. Identify things that make you happy. Create boundaries at work and in your personal life. Create boundaries with the people you care for. Eat healthy, sleep, exercise, and do not neglect your own medical care. Explore mindfulness techniques. Connect with your loved ones. And find 30 minutes for yourself every day, be it whether just reading a book or just sitting down and reflecting on the day. That is time for yourself, for your self-care. Thank you.